Hi there. This month is International Watercolor Month, and so I thought in order to commemorate it, I would do a little show and tell of my watercolor collection. And this is going to be part one because I can't make really long videos because of our internet speed and stuff. So I'll make this short. I'm going to start with the watercolor pan sets that I have. So let's get right to it. Starting with the most student grade, let's put it that way. These, if I can get this tin open. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Now these were from a bigger set of kids craft paint that I found at Walmart, and I just cut off and kept the most vibrant ones. The rest got thrown away because they were useless, but I keep them here because I like using them for backgrounds once in a while, especially for mermaid scenes and water, sky, that kind of thing, coral. And I keep it in this little makeshift tin. Next, I have two sets of Crayola. One is a 24 set. I don't know how well you can see this. There we go. A 24 set. There we go. And these paints are dye-based, and they're sold with kids in mind, but I like using them as a base for colored pencil in my coloring books. And for those of you that don't know, I'm an adult colorist. In other words, I color other people's art. And for that purpose, they're pretty good. I think I found this set at Michael's because it was hard to find the 24 set in the other department stores. And here's the other set. Yeah, as you can see, they've gotten a lot of love. They do dry matte. In other words, they have a matte finish to them. They're not shiny, or and they will fade when left out in light long enough. Now, these here I cut out from one of those Art 101 kits that I found at Five Below. Now, these, as you can expect, they dry chalky, but they are vibrant. So I decided to keep them and use them for playing around time to time. And they do all right blending too. I was surprised. In fact, this was probably the best art supply in the kit. That's why I decided to keep them. I've done a couple of coloring pages with them in a book designed for watercolors as well. Okay, this is a new purchase. These are Prang Metallic. And they are very sticky. They're semi-moist, and if I was to touch them now, I'd get all full of paint, even though they've been left out to dry. But they're nice. I think. Let me show you a swatch of them. I've got my little swatch book right here. All right. There we go. So that's the Prang Metallic 8 set. I got those at a local stationer's art supply store. These are called Yarka, and I have a little bit of Winsor & Newton Ultramarine added to the palette. Now these are the student grade of a paint called White Nights, and this is their student grade. These are also semi-moist and very sticky, and these, you know, these have been left out to dry too. And I think, you know, I live in a humid climate during the summer, and they stay moist like that. And these I have swatched. There we go. These are the Yarka. They're vibrant, and they're fun to work with. It's just they are very sticky in warmer weather. And I also bought these at the same place I bought the Prang Metallic. This set, it came from Hobby Lobby, their Master's Touch, the 24 set. And this one, I replaced the white with a Grumbacher mauve, because there were two other shades of purple in here, and this one was a nice, added nice in between the two. And I'll show you the swatch. Now, the interesting thing about these, they're very vibrant. However, they do leave a weird texture on the paper, especially on mixed media paper and the type of paper you find in Dover coloring books. It's almost chalky. But on this watercolor paper here, they're fine. And they have some weird names, like this blue one here is called Shamrock. And we have an orange one called Flesh. I mean, how is this flesh? I mean, unless you're Donald Trump, but anywho. And that's the mauve I replaced the white with. And you can see it's a nice cross-section between their violet and their purple. This is the Arteza set that's promoted for kids. These are cakes, and they're very vibrant. I'm happy with them. And here's the swatch. They blend nicely. The only thing, my biggest complaint about these is you need to constantly re-wet the cake. They need to, they dry out really fast in the cake. And as you're working with them, if you need to dip in, you've got to, I keep the spritzer bottle handy, especially when I'm using these. They need constant moisture to get any color out of them. Okay, what do we have next here? Okay, now this is called Essentials from Royal Langnickel. You can find these types of sets all over the place under different names. Superior, Creative, Medine, and this is an 18 set, and they're a fan palette. Now, if I could figure out a way to take these right out of here without busting it all up, I probably would, because it's kind of an inconvenience to try to reach in there, and especially when you want to work from more than one row, you've got to overlap them and find the correct one, and we don't really know how much paint is in these, but it's going to last a while, because this is among many sets that I have, and they're not bad. I do have some watercolor sets that I like better, but you know, compared to, say, the Art 101, they're a lot better. All right, let me see if I can find them here for you. There we go. They're very vibrant, and they mix well. It is, you know, my biggest complaint with the way this is designed. You have numbers, which I didn't put on here. Maybe I should have, but if you're looking for a certain brownish red, you have to look at your chart and count and see where you're at. I've bought this at Walmart for a little over $9. Oh yes, there's another set in my desk drawer. Hang on just a second. That I keep in this tin right here. These are watercolor tempera paints. I found these at Dollar Tree, and the brand is Crafter Square, and these blend very nicely. They're smooth, they're vibrant, but like the Art 101, they're chalky. And I'm going to leave them in the tube because like the Art Advantage paints I had, I took them out of the tube and put them in this makeshift thing here, and they dried right up into little pebbles of chalky paint. So these are going to stay in the tubes if I want to play around with them, use them. I have a swatch of those too. They are vibrant, but they do leave a bit of a chalky residue. But they mix really well. I made an orange and a violet and what looks like a sap green and a gray. Next, this is a fairly new purchase. These are the Sakura Koi watercolors, designed in Japan. I really like these. I know there's a lot of watercolor artists out there that started on these, and now they, you know, they don't have a lot of good things to say about them, but for somebody that uses them in coloring books and as a base for pencil, they're very nice. I recently did a page with these, and from a it was Tanya Bond's Inklings, and before I used these on the page, I primed the page with this satin glazing liquid from Golden and let that dry for a few hours, and they did a beautiful job. They blend and mix well. They don't, once they dry, they do have a hard time to lift, but if you want to add another layer on top, that's a plus. And I got these also from the same stationers that where I got the Prang watercolor set and the Yarka. And there's a certain way this fits on here. Well, have to turn it around. And there is the swatch on the watercolor paper. Very vibrant. I'm very happy with the color selection as well. They blend and mix very well. And what's unique about this one, oh, never mind, I'm thinking of another set. I'll get to that in a minute, but anywho, very nice paints. I highly recommend them for someone who's a crafter or likes to use watercolor and coloring books. Next, these are called Pretty Excellent, and they live up to their name. Very nice paints. Even professional watercolorists have said they're very nice quality set with some nice light fast ratings. And they're on par with the vibrancy of other popular professional sets. And in fact, they are made from the same manufacturer that makes the Paul Rubens paints. There's the pan, and it comes with a water brush as well. And I have a flesh tone paint that I added to the set as well, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, this and the Sakura Koi I think are my favorite watercolor pan sets that I have. I highly recommend them. The downside is the price has gone up on these. They were under $20 when they first came out, and I bought them during the height of the pandemic, and they were closer to $25. But I'd heard so many good things about them, and I said I want to try some new watercolors. And it took them about 3 weeks to get here, but they were worth the wait. Oh, I gotta take a drink. Yeah. In this handy tin, I have some individual paints that I wanted to add to other palettes, including the mauve from the Grumbacher. I have an ultramarine Cotman. I like the Cotman paints for what little I've used of them. They blend and glide nicely. It's another one of those paints that a lot of watercolorists, have criticisms about, but for someone like me who's a hobbyist, they're great. And I love this one, the Grumbacher Red. These are Grumbacher Academy. They're the student grade of their regular Grumbacher watercolors. That's a burnt sienna. And that's the burnt umber. I wanted some reddish browns to add to my Arteza palette. That it came only with a sepia, and I was not happy with that. Speaking of which, here it is. Arteza. They are a higher quality and better quality than the cake sets that I showed earlier. Now this row here are from the original palette, and these down here. This middle row are the ones I added to the palette, including the flesh tone light. It says flesh tone light from Da Vinci. That was a very expensive tube of paint, and it was over $9, and it was half price. I haven't used these a whole lot, even though it looks it. I'm not really sure if I would make a glowing recommendation to people to try these. They're good, but you know, I have a few other watercolor palettes that I like better. These aren't bad. They are on the pricier end of a hobby paint, and they seem to have gone up in price recently too. Especially they have a 24 set of metallics that are over $50, which I think is outrageous for being a student grade. But that's just me. Okay. Now in this makeshift palette, I have an Art Advantage black. The reason that this one didn't fall apart like the other ones in this paint brand is because I added some glycerin to it before I poured it in. And this is the rest of the Da Vinci Flesh Tone Light. And that took a long time to dry. Probably because it's in one of those, they call it pill bottle totes. Okay, and these next 5 paints are from Gogh Tubes that I poured into these 5 slots here. This is the metallic silver. They're all metallics. Metallic silver. This is copper. Bronze. Dark gold. And light gold. And I'll show you the swatches. Here we go. And I swatched them also on black. Let me get my sketchbook out here. Yeah. And what I did here, I mixed the metallics with regular watercolors. I expected a bit more of a sheen, but I was kind of disappointed that it didn't show up that way. I got these 5 paints to use in my steampunk book from Color It. And there they are, swatched again on the white and then on the black. Okay, finally, the newest addition to the pan sets that I have. Oh, now these paints are also very sticky, which is why I'm having a hard time opening them. And because the pans were falling out of the palette, I put them down with sticky dots. Maybe that was a mistake. Yep, that is the front, and that's the back. Oh my goodness. Hang on. Oh boy. See if I can do this without cutting myself. Oh boy. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Good thing I didn't break it, because I think that last time I tried to open it from the back. Anyhow, these are Lucas Studio. Anyway, my camera stopped on me. These are Lucas Studio paints. And I just got these from Jerry's Artorama. I was going to do this video a lot earlier, you know, in the month, but I was waiting for these to come in. They took a week and a half. Here they are. And I'm currently working on a page from Hannah calls it Summer Nights, and they are very nice. Let me show you a swatch I did of them. Here we go. Now there is something unique about this set. It has the 3 true primary colors, and that would be lemon yellow, cyan, and magenta. So swatching these and playing around with them, I was able to make red and blue. Yeah, 2 primary colors I was able to make with a couple of other colors generally not considered as primary. Very nice. So they do act a lot like the Sakura Koi in that they don't lift easy once they're dry. And but like I said, that can be an advantage if you want to layer, but just be careful that a little, if you go overboard, the under color will seep through and start to blend. But they have a nice, very nice selection of reds. This is the 24 set. Very nice selection of reds and blues. And I even like their Payne's Gray. It has a blue undertone. And I like that their browns have reddish undertones. So yeah, I'm very happy with this set. I highly recommend it, but just look for sales because they are pricey, even for a student grade. I think their artist grade is called 1862, something like that. But this is the studio one, and I've heard some watercolor colorists say that the vibrancy is on par with the artist grade. And since I'm not selling my work, and if you're not, get the studio. I highly recommend them, but just look for sales because, like I said, like the Sakura Koi, they can be pricey. Okay, so that's part 1 of my watercolor collection. Later on I'll come back with part 2, and that will be the watercolor pencils. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.